Okay, so what we're doing here is we are factoring this quadratic. Now, let's talk about the basics. This goes x squared and then x and then a number without a variable. Now, the big question that we should be asking is, can I factor out this negative 8? Because if I can factor this negative 8 out, this problem is much easier. So let's see, does negative 8 go into itself? It does, but does it go into negative 7 and into 1? It doesn't go into either of these, so I cannot factor this by just factoring out the GCF. So at this point, when I notice that my leading coefficient does not go into the other two terms, then what I do is I take my leading coefficient, negative 8, and I multiply it by 1, my A times my C, and I get negative 8. And so now what I need is I need the factors of negative 8 that also add up to give me negative 7. So my factors of 8 are 1 times 8, 2 times 4. Okay? Now you can see that if I do 8 minus 1, I get 7, but I need negative 7. So what combination of 8 and 1 could I do in order for me to get negative 7? Yeah, I could do negative 8 plus 1 would give me negative 7. Okay? And so let's rewrite this as negative 8x squared. But instead of writing negative 7x, I'm going to write negative 8x plus 1x plus 1. And so now what you notice is negative 8x plus 1x is negative 7x, and that's why I'm allowed to write this as negative 8x plus 1x instead of negative 7x. Okay, now we need to group it. So I'm going to group the first two binomials in parentheses and the second two binomials in parentheses. Now, anytime you have a negative in front of your leading coefficient, you would like to factor out the negative. It just so happens that negative 8 goes into both of these, so I'm going to factor out negative 8, and then they both have an x, so I'm going to factor out an x as well. So when I do that, basically what I'm doing is I'm dividing each term by negative 8x in this first binomial. And so negative 8 divided by negative 8 is 1, and x squared divided by x is just x. Here, negative 8 divided by negative 8 is positive 1, and the x's cancel. Plus 1x plus 1. Now, understood to be in front of this parentheses right here is a 1. So I'm going to write the understood 1 right there. Okay? So you can see that there was nothing in front of the parentheses, so it's understood to be a 1. Now, each of these terms has an x plus 1 in it. See right here, x plus 1, and see right here, x plus 1. Since they both have it, I can factor it out. And so let's take this out and put it here, and let's take this out and put it here. Remember, it's like go fish, you have to have a pair. And so I have x plus 1, and since I took x plus 1 out of here and out of here, what's left is negative 8x and positive 1. So I'm going to write right here negative 8x plus 1. And so there's your answer. You factored the original problem by grouping. Now remember, if you finish before everybody else, you don't just sit and breathe the air. You need to get to work on mastery challenges. Keep yourself busy until everyone is done.